This interview is with Jane, who's attended my physical leadership program. We've had quite a few conversations since then about her personal development and how changing her physical habits has increased her confidence. We had a great chat about how confidence is a skill that you can learn rather than being something that you either have or don't have, and how she's learnt for her that starts with the body. Like anything, the more you practice the physical action of confidence, the better you will be at it, and the more confident you'll feel. How's everything going?
Yeah, really good. Been pretty busy.
So Jane, you work for Venture Taranaki. Can you tell us a little bit about the organisation, about your role there?
Yeah, sure. So Venture Taranaki, we're essentially here to help the economy of the region, support businesses locally, and my role as a business advisor is to very much be the people connector for businesses to connect them with the right people so they can get the right support that they need to help grow their business. So being that people connector is really, that's the key to this role, is being able to put people in touch with the right places and the right people.
Sounds like a really interesting and diverse role.
Yeah, it is, and I get to meet so many different people from farming through to manufacturing, retailers, so a whole host of different kinds of people and different kinds of businesses, and I really enjoy that aspect. It's just the variety is awesome.
Fantastic. So you've done some training with me, and when I asked you to be videoed and do the vlog, and I asked you sort of what topics you might like to talk about, you said that confidence was something that, one of the main things that you felt that you had developed through the training with me. How do you feel that in the past that confidence was sort of holding you back, or?
I don't know if it was necessarily holding me back, but I think just feeling a bit more comfortable in your own skin, feeling more comfortable. Maybe, for example, talking in front of people was something I wasn't very confident or felt very good about doing. But I find now that if I change my posture, I calm down and make sure I've make pauses, and I'm aware of how my body feels, and I'm aware of how my voice is being portrayed, and I feel more self-aware and more confident in myself. So I'm less worried about what people think about me because I'm feeling happier in that space.
So do you think you feel happier in that space? Like you mentioned a couple of physical things there.
Yeah.
So is it actually having that awareness, more kind of being in the moment and sort of feeling what's going on with your body that is giving you that sort of sense of confidence also?
Yeah, I think from doing the course, or from being more aware of how I am feeling, and to know that actually the way you are physically can impact the way you feel, the way your thoughts are.
Yeah, absolutely.
For example, you introduced us to Amy Cuddy on the TEDx, and she talks about having a power pose, and if you appear bigger, you are more confident. But you don't want to be doing that in front of an audience, for example. But if I think it's like anything, if you prepare or you plan, like in business as well, if you prepare and make a plan, you're more likely to succeed and you're more likely to feel that you're doing a good job.
So true.
So with Amy, for example, she talked about just being able to get into a power pose, feeling that you're in a good space. So before an event, for example, if I need to speak in front of people, I'll go to the bathrooms, make sure I'm kind of taking a deep breath and feeling centered and feeling calmer. And there's always going to be nerves, but it's just a way to deal with that. So and also, if you feel about a time when you felt good about yourself and you kind of get into that pose and think about that, it sounds silly, but it does work. And I did find that previously speaking in front of people, I was shuffling on my feet, I was stumbling over my words, I was nervous, I was talking far too fast, just to get it over with. But taking those natural pauses can actually make a big impact.
So do you think, because I think often how we, it's interesting, you sort of talk about planning something, and I totally agree, but I think often, when we sort of attack situations, we think about thinking more about something, and with confidence, it's interesting to know what you think here, but I think with confidence, a mistake is overthinking. And when we're anxious and nervous, we tend to just, go over in our heads what all the worst things that can happen. And I think when we feel really in the moment and we feel confident, we're not thinking so much. What?
Yeah, I think you can overthink, but I think anything around confidence comes with practice as well. You might still not feel 100% happy in that situation, but the more you practice, I think the easier it is, and that self-talk becomes, instead of negative, it actually becomes positive. So like, you can do this, just take a deep breath, your stuff, and just that positive talk, because I think, like you said, that overthinking can often be that negative self-talk.
Definitely.
I can't do this, there's so many people in front of me, I'm really frightened. But there's a reason why you're in that role, so you do belong there. Stand your ground, take a deep breath, and enjoy it, I think, maybe.
Absolutely.
Which is easier said than done, but
no, definitely. I think if you've got that, you can flip over that positive thinking. So is that something that you've sort of worked on consciously to change your sort of that inner voice?
Yeah, definitely. I think in anything you approach, and anything that's new, you're always going to be unsure. But you can use certain techniques to really help you overcome that. So, like I said, taking that step back and being able to take a deep breath and just really become calm and just have that self-belief that you can do it, because without that, then you're not going to achieve anything. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, no, definitely. So you sort of talk about self-belief, and I wanted to just ask you, sort of like, because I think we talk about confidence, but we don't really, when we actually stop to think, well, what actually is it? Because I've given it a lot of thought, recently. So, is self-confidence just about self-belief? And how is that different to, say, self-worth or any of those other attributes? Is it self-belief, or is it sort of something else? I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear your kind of thoughts.
Yeah, I think, self-esteem and confidence, I think they are slightly different, because that self-belief, that self-esteem is that belief in yourself, like the, self-love and that kind of thing. So, people look at a movie star or something, I wish I could be that confident, or, I wish I could wear a bikini on the beach, or I wish I could, I don't know what it is, but I look at people, and sometimes it's because they've got that self-belief in themselves, and they don't worry about other people. But it again takes practice. But I think that self-esteem, it's probably that inner self-belief in yourself, and you can still have that. But I might not be a confident surfer or confident driver or confident with maths. But if
and you still might have that belief, the self-belief that sits, self-love that sits underneath that.
Yeah, and I think it's just having a go. If you're prepared to have a go at something, that's the belief that you can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas I was just saying earlier, spent some time skiing, and I'm not a good skier, but I kind of had that belief that, I'm here, I'm in Colorado, I'll need to have a go at this, so I believe that I can do it. And I did sort of become more confident.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably a fine line, but I think with practice, the confidence does come, because you get better at a skill.
Yeah.
But then having that feeling of self-confidence, is that a skill as well, maybe?
Yeah, I'm actually beginning to think that it really is. That, we sort of talk about it as if you either have it or you don't, and I don't really think that's the case. And you probably see that as well, because you've kind of had a journey with this, and now you're saying you're in a place where you actually can actively gain confidence. I think that example of skiing is a great example, because it's like a whole different attitude, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of putting yourself out there to give things a try, makes you feel more confident.
Yeah, and perhaps you need that self-esteem to give it a whirl in the first place, because I'm not worried if I look silly or whatever, you just do it for you. And there's also, I'll chuck something else in, that there's charisma as well. So you see someone on stage, Beyonce, maybe. She's got charisma, right? But she still gets nervous before going on stage, and it's kind of really. So maybe she's born with charisma, but the confidence comes with time. I don't know.
Well, I think that's a really interesting one, because what I'm starting to think is that confidence doesn't have anything to do with nerves. Like, you can still be nervous to do something. That doesn't mean you're not confident.
Yeah.
Is confidence more about action? It's that sort of loop between like momentum, action, that kind of then leads on to feeling more confident.
Yeah, and I guess it's controlling those nerves, controlling those feelings by going back to that good self-talk and by going back to your posture.
Yes.
And I think we talked about, when I confidence before around, who can you channel that you respect? So for me, I think Dame Judi Dench is awesome.
She's great, yeah.
Just the way she holds herself. So if I ever feel that I'm kind of, not feeling confident or not having a happy in my own skin day, I think, okay, so channel Judy.
That's great.
Because I've changed my posture now, and that's kind of,
just thinking about how you change your posture.
Exactly.
It's so true. It's so true.
So.
Yeah. Charisma is a really interesting one, actually, because, we think of it as like you've either got charisma or not, but is charisma something you can learn? If you can learn confidence, why not charisma? Yeah. And what would be the factors going into that as well?
Yeah, I suppose it's the what gives I don't know what gives the guys, Rolling Stones, like they've had lots and lots of practice, but they've got charisma, or you think of people up on stage, but you also think people within your office environment. There's people who are maybe they're more self-aware, and perhaps they're just more. Is it outgoing, or is it that because you can be quietly.
You almost, I think, to have charisma, you have to be sort of confident, don't you? I think almost confidence is kind of a part of charisma, because it's something that. I think of charisma. It's like it's like a light shining out. It is, isn't it? It's like an energy that goes out.
Yeah.
But it's also really uplifting to other people. So if you get kind of caught in the light, you kind of makes you feel good. It's something like that. So is that something that you can kind of train? That sort of, I don't know, focusing your energy, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think definitely it's the physical and the understanding that it's not just your thoughts that overrule how you feel or sort of manage how you feel. It is that physical side as well, because you can almost fool your body, fool your brain into believing that, okay, we can do this because your posture's it looks confident, or your posture is in the right way, or
So what are your strategies that you use? Do you have strategies that you use sort of on a daily kind of ongoing basis?
I think so. Sometimes you might get up and I'm lucky that I love my job, and but I'm not a morning person, but get up in the morning. I want to go to work. I want to help people out, and I want to do my job. And I think if I was having an off day, a bit tired or whatever, I'd just make sure before I go into a meeting or before I've got to do something that's important, I'll take a step back almost, take that deep breath, make sure your posture, you're not slumped, because that tends to diminish how you feel. You feel better if you stand up straight, and
absolutely,
you do feel more in control of a situation. Smile, even if it's a phone call you don't want to make, or if you smile on the phone, sometimes if you stand up, it just gives you that little bit more of a boost, and you just feel that you're more in the zone, sort of thing. And I think that's the thing is, for me, like, I know when I'm not feeling in the zone. If you're a bit tired, or you've had a long day, or you've got other stuff going on in your brain, and you need to be focused on that moment, it is good to make sure that you use some techniques and skills and plan for that. So you might be planned in your work, but just take time away. Even if you're sat at your desk, just take a deep breath and breathe in and out, and then just make sure that you feel more in the zone. I think posture can help with that.
So you're actually you've got sort of a routine or a practice where you're actually taking time, you're taking a couple of minutes before, sort of recognizing how you're feeling and taking a couple of minutes to sort of readjust yourself before you're engaging.
Even before you get in a car to drive to work, if you're a bit tired, you need to be alert because there's traffic on the road. So it's just kind of take that moment, check in with yourself, and like anything new, it's good to kind of, some people just jump in and do it, but for me, I like to kind of check in with myself, say, okay, so that self-talk as well, you can do it, but the physical posture and the physical feelings and taking a deep breath, like through, you don't have to be a yoga practitioner to know that breathing and can really help keep you calm and alert. So
it's really interesting, isn't it, the breath, because I think if we don't put awareness is a huge thing, because when we're feeling stress, we can say, oh my God, I can't do this, and it's too much and I don't feel good about it, and our heart can be racing and we're trying to take in some breath, but that situation doesn't change. But as soon as we focus on the breath, we all know how to breathe at the end of the day, don't we? We want to survive. And as soon as you bring your awareness to it, to actually breathe deeply, you can slow the heart down.
And it does make you feel more at ease, because otherwise if you're nervous and you're scared, it's kind of quick breaths here, but if you're taking deep breaths, it can help you kind of realign, I suppose.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've been watching something. I watched a TED talk on getting out of your comfort zone. And then I got this young kind of, I think he was Danish or Swedish or something like that. I was really inspired by him. And he has this website, Comfort Zone Crushers.
Oh, right.
And but it really made me think about confidence. So basically what he's saying is that we don't get confident from doing things that we've always done. We're not confident by doing things really well. So there's sort of this misconception that actually more, expertise in something is going to make you more confident.
Right.
When in actual fact, it's the reverse, that we need to get outside of our comfort zone to build confidence. And we may actually not be really experienced in something, which I think is really interesting, because it kind of flips it on its head.
Yeah. If you're doing something over and over again, maybe you get complacent about it. So is that confidence? I don't know. But if you're doing something you're scared of on a regular basis, you're building that within you to say, right, I can have a go at this. You're still going to be scared, but you're having a go at it rather than running away. So,
absolutely. and so what they're saying basically about your comfort zone is, say your comfort zone is this is your size of your comfort zone. The more new things you do, you're pushing at the boundary of your comfort zone. So if you went out there again, you might actually jump, and eventually if you keep pushing, your comfort zone expands. And to me, that's kind of a big link with confidence, that actually if your comfort zone's expanding, then your confidence must be expanding as well at the same time. What do you feel about that?
Yeah,
well, would you say that's true? Or?
Yeah, I'm coming from a recruitment background, and helping people with those kind of coaching with those kind of skills. And it's whether it's attitude. You can teach people how to do skills, but if you've got the right attitude in terms of you're willing to put yourself out there and have a go at new things, because when you're in a new career, for example, everything is new. So if you have that attitude maybe from a younger age, that just have a go, it doesn't matter, and you can be taught how to do things, but it's just your attitude towards having a go at doing something that is maybe that's the thing, because you recruit generally on that attitude. So and you can find out pretty easily people's attitude towards things, but it's the skills and the technical skills that you can actually teach.
I think you're absolutely right, because if you've got someone who in that sort of role, starting in a new organisation, and they're not open, if they're very sort of closed. No matter how competent they are, they're actually not going to succeed in that role. Whereas someone that's willing to try and willing to take things on board is going to be, much more easily succeed.
Yeah, potentially. And it's often that, there's thoughts around, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you don't necessarily have to be loud, but sometimes it's, it's how you project yourself, maybe how you hold yourself, that it counts for a lot. Than actually sometimes what you say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Have you had any because obviously you've gone through a bit of a journey. Do you think it's something that anyone else has noticed? Have you had some sort of comments back, or is it sort of more of an internal feeling, do you think?
I don't know if it's possibly more of an internal thing, or but just even, especially, you know, a lot of women, it's kind of, you know, choosing your outfit. Like today, I want to, you know, you want to be confident because you want to feel good.
Yes.
And you want to look good as well. But I don't know if that answers the question. But for me, it's that internal feeling, I think, and having been on a bit of a journey to, you know, get better to increase my health and well-being and weight loss and to be more healthy and those kind of things as well. That's kind of come as a bit of a package, and I do, if I feel that, you know, I'm looking the best that I can look, or near or on the journey to doing it with that positivity, I do feel good. So yeah, it's probably that internal and just feeling that if I do stand up in front of a group of people, I'm not scared of it now. I'm actually quite enjoying it. So, and perhaps maybe my peers have said, you know, well done, that was really good, but they might have said that before, but might not have come across so well. But it's just managing those nerves and that internal feeling. Yeah,
because often we think about confidence, we think about just the projection. I mean, there's two ways, isn't there? There's the internal sort of feeling, how you're feeling internally, but then it's also what you're projecting. And actually, you can feel terrible inside, and others might not necessarily know, but you're still not going to want to. You could perform really well, but you're not going to want to do it again if you don't feel good, and like you say, you're not enjoying it. So do you think public speaking is something that now you'd like to sort of do more of and develop in? Is that?
Not necessarily, but I just feel that when if I am in that situation, I know I can do it now. I know that I'm not frightened I'm not shuffling on my feet anymore. I'm not trying to rush through things, and actually people listen more if you do pause and if you're feeling more grounded, and because obviously I talk with my hands quite a bit. I was kind of didn't know what to do with my hands, but you can actually stand still and still move naturally the way you want to.
So what are you doing differently now with your hands? So when you're, like you say, you didn't know what to do with them, but now
I think it was more I'm moving them just naturally how I normally do, rather than trying to stay still, because that wasn't natural for me.
So is that just more of a kind of being more relaxed, or is that kind of you didn't know what was the right thing before to do with them?
A bit of both, really. But I think the shuffling on the feet was the biggest issue. Whereas if you stay grounded and you look more in control, and you look like you know what you're talking about.
It definitely changes as well how you feel.
It does. And so just not knowing what to do with my hand, or not knowing what looked good, but now I don't even think about it. I just
So some of those things with the hands probably were a habit, sort of from like a past habit.
Potentially.
Because I think sometimes we do have these habits about the way that we hold our hands. I think especially for women, we tend to sometimes sort of have a sort of restricted way that we hold ourselves, which is just become a habit. So was that the case for you?
I think, and it was probably when you're not in the zone, or you're not confident, not feeling confident, you do tend to close up a little bit. Whereas if you're feeling more confident, you might be, open a little bit more. So that was possibly a habit that I had, because I didn't want to be noticed or out there. Whereas now I don't mind so much.
So now you're kind of out there more. Is there anything that you want to work on sort of from here? Now you've kind of got the sort of confidence. Is there anything that you would be sort of more willing to try now that you perhaps wouldn't have done before?
I don't know. I haven't been faced with that situation. I don't know. I'm not going to go and do a bungee jump just because I'm just don't want to do that. But I don't know. It's just in my everyday job, and just going through. You don't have to do anything outrageous, I don't think. It's just keep those habits going, and knowing that once you've got those techniques, it is practice, and just keep practicing them, really.
Fantastic. great. So you were talking about you used to shuffle on your feet. What do you mean by that? So what were you doing there?
So say I was talking in front of an audience, and I wouldn't be very confident in standing there because I'm thinking, oh gosh, everyone's looking at me. So I'd kind of I'd either be holding a pen or I'd kind of be moving on my feet. So I might be talking, but my hands would be either here, and I'd just be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think
sort of fidgeting, moving around,
yeah.
fidgeting.
And I think I don't look confident. You don't look confident if you're moving around like this. You look unsure. You look nervous, and it's like you look like you want to get out.
Yeah. Well, that's probably what you're telling your brain, isn't it? Like
really quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas now, we talked about taking a step back, putting the preparation in beforehand. So I might be behind a door, just taking a deep breath. And you, in the course that we did around physical leadership, helped to understand around the idea of being grounded.
Yeah.
So to be grounded, I think you need to be standing strong.
Yeah.
So no one's going to be able to push me over now. I feel more like I belong here and in front of. So it feels. Well,
you instantly look different anyway. Just that, physical strength.
Yeah. And I'm not messing around with my hands, and I'm able to just talk more freely, like I would normally, like naturally. If I need to turn, I would just stay still on my feet because I feel more grounded. I feel like I do belong here, and that's kind of. And I've taken the deep breaths beforehand, and it's just kind of feel more at peace, I suppose.
Yeah. So like a calmer, more relaxed.
Yeah. And I think
you look calmer and more relaxed, definitely, as soon as you've stopped kind of moving around and actually just thinking about physical strength. So with the hands, because you said you weren't sure what to do with the hands, but instantly when you grounded, you actually then kind of relaxed.
You open up.
Yeah. So do you reckon the hands is more just, like you say, it comes from the feet and it's more about the grounding, and then, or were you actually thinking about doing something different with your hands as well?
I think with the hands, I feel more grounded in general, and just feel more relaxed. So my hands
they're just there rather than kind of the tension and holding something.
Yeah, because it might have been that I did this, but it was, and I think I look quite enclosed like that, whereas more open like this, you kind of, you look like that feeling of belonging, I think. Rather than like this, I feel like, I'm a bit of an imposter and I look a bit frightened. And who's going to believe what I'm saying? They're looking at what I'm doing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, you're closed, you're sort of isolated. You're not kind of you're not connected to everyone else.
Yeah, that's right. And it's kind of quite a simple thing to do, but if you've not been taught or you're not aware,
I think it's interesting as well because, actually to stand just with your arms open and your hands by your side sort of loosely, it's quite uncomfortable when you first start doing it, and now it's comfortable but actually to take your hands from sort of this feels really weird. People say all the time, oh, I don't like the feel of that because it feels odd.
And it's almost maybe from feeling in the past, like we said about habits, from a little kid. I think I've always been quite shy, so I've always tried to maybe hide away, or I don't know. So it's getting rid of that feeling. You don't have to feel like that anymore. So you're kind of like by doing this sort of physicality, you're reinforcing something. The habit is reinforcing a message that you need to do that. But as soon as you change the body, it changes that mental state, doesn't it? Yeah, which is a real. Once it's really simple, but it's getting over that.
Yeah. Awesome.